Welcome to ScoreCraft, Elwynn Forest. In this episode, we return to the lush, verdant woods that were the first home of many a Warcraft player. Elwynn Forest is a zone so suffused with nostalgia and the relics of past experiences that it is almost impossible to do its grandeur justice. Every player of this game has their own deeply personal and often deeply moving memories associated with this cradle of opportunity, this first taste of a new world. Some fondly remember their first forays into the mines of the kobold, deftly snatching the candles from atop their heads and plundering their chests for treasures. Others recall the peaceful tranquility of the woods, warm, gentle breezes blowing through the trees and the scent of rich earth rising from the mossy green underfoot. Others yet still were captivated by the tales of intrigue, betrayal and revenge that they slowly uncovered in their exploits against the Defias Brotherhood. No matter what glorious heroes we one day became, each of us champions of the Alliance once set out on the road from Goldshire, dressed in little more than tattered hand-me-downs and gripping a well-worn weapon. We barely understood what terrible challenges awaited us down the long road of our adventures, but that mattered not, for our tenacity and courage were all that we ever needed. So out we went from the safety of home to brave the dangers of Murloc-infested waterways, Defias hideouts, and even, once we had proven our worth, to bring the King's justice to the foul and ferocious Hogger. With his judgment meted out in blood, we found ourselves the master of this domain, and the celebrated hero of the humble townsfolk of Elwynn. And so our path very quickly became clear to us, for no true adventurer is ever satisfied with victory. We had but whet our appetite for exploring the world beyond Northshire Abbey, and so began the first of many steps on our hero's journey. The music of this zone opens with violins playing a hesitant pedal, a long-held drone of the tonic note, the home note, G, along with shimmering brushstrokes upon a cymbal. This pedal is held throughout the beginning of the theme and symbolizes the uncertainty of a novice player's first, tentative footsteps in a new game. Quickly we hear an oboe melody which outlines our home tonic key of G minor. This melody is confident and roots us in this home key, but the strings and harp interject an imperfect cadence into C major, the subdominant, or chord 4. This shift into a major tonality is a rising up and hopeful sound, emboldening the novice player. This is then answered by a questioning countermelody from the flute, which finishes on a B flat. The strings then play two chords, E flat major and G flat major, both of which contain the B flat which originally felt so rooted in G minor. This clever sleight of hand is called a tertiary relationship, using one note to anchor a series of otherwise distant chords together. All the while, the original G from the violins can still be heard, but now clashes poignantly against the G flat chord. This shows that already we fresh-faced novices have come so far and thirst for yet greater challenge, but the insistent, persistent pedal G keeps us rooted in the key, and rooted in Elwynn. We must first train and learn before we can lead our journey further afield. This melody then fades away to be replaced by a melody in the Phrygian mode, using a flattened second note of the scale, which is passed around from the oboe to the clarinet to the horns. Under this, we can distantly hear a pattern of 3 repeated plucked notes from the harp, foreshadowing things yet to come. Soon after, we hear a melody in E-flat from the clarinet, which is resolute and striving upwards, telling the tale of bold adventurers who have trodden these paths before us. Strings then play lofty notes as this melody drifts away, and then we hear again our adventurer return as the clarinet plays a lilting melody leading into the noble call of a distant trumpet, ringing out over the woodlands. Symbolizing the promise of glory in far-flung lands, something for us to strive towards, a clarion call that will live on in our dreams. The trumpet melody is in G-flat, using the Lydian mode by sharpening the fourth note of the scale. This imparts that wistful, almost plaintive quality. The strings then play out long notes as the trumpet fades away, then being joined by falling harp arpeggios and the return of the repeated note motif plucked by the bass strings. The theme ends sparsely with these insistent repeated E-flats and rising perfect fifth motif from E-flat to B-flat. All of a sudden, the music recounting tales of past heroes fades away, leaving a great, ponderous emptiness, and we realize that this emptiness must be filled with tales of our own deeds. But what lies in store beyond the sheltering forest? We realize then that all the world lies stretched out before us, and that we must venture forth to uncover that destiny. The uncertain excitement of not knowing where our great quest will lead us sets ablaze the spirit of adventure in our hearts. We know that wherever our journey takes us, whatever the challenges we face, we shall prevail and grow ever stronger, and that, with our friends by our side, any obstacle can be surmounted, any enemy can be conquered. And so, Lone Tear and I, we set forth to find our glory. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like, subscribe, and share it with any friends you think would like it too. If you'd like to support the channel, you can find links to my Patreon and PayPal in the description down below. These videos take a lot of hard work and time to make, but one day I hope to be able to do this full time and explore with you the great music that games have brought to the world. Until then, I'll see you in the next one. Stay chim, everyone.